I can't wait when me and my son just go visit your grave one day. You feel me? Because that's what you're trying to do right now while we living our lives, separate, whatever, from the chaos. Yo, ass want to kill us.
This is the moment the internet swore couldn't get any messier yet. Somehow, it did. Because when Karlissa and Chrisean collide, it's like mixing Mentos with Coke, turning the whole timeline into a volcanic eruption nobody asked for but everybody secretly loves. And just when people thought the drama had hit rock bottom, Karlissa decided to dig deeper with a police call, so loud that even the Kardashians packed their bags and said, yeah, we're not competing with that today. The streets didn't just talk. They screamed, choked, and cried for Wi-Fi. As this chaos dragged them by the edges of their wigs, but the real earthquake didn't hit until Ronnie entered the chat like a villain in a season finale, holding final evidence like he was auditioning for a Netflix documentary called The DNA Disaster, Nobody Survives. And trust me, when Ronnie drops receipts, they don't just land. They detonate stronger than a Beyoncé album release at midnight. Suddenly, timelines froze, influencers fainted, and even Blueface pretended he didn't exist for a minute. This wasn't drama. This wasn't beef. This was a scandal so explosive that Hollywood agents were begging for film rights while the police scanner lit up like Times Square. And today, we're unpacking every shocking second. The eruption began quietly, the way all legendary disasters do: one shady comment, one messy live stream, and one mother who refuses to let common sense stop her from turning the internet into her personal battleground. Karlissa woke up and chose violence like it was breakfast. Hopping online with the confidence of someone who believes Wi-Fi is a weapon, she started dropping hints about hidden truths, pick-a-side energy, and unfinished business. And the fans were already sweating because when Karlissa talks like that, it's never innocent. It's the start of a reality show-level explosion. And once she said Chrisean's name, oh, the apocalypse officially clocked in. Chrisean, on the other hand, had been living in her own chaotic universe, juggling damage control, baby drama, and her Olympic gold medal and sprinting away from responsibility. So when she heard Karlissa talking spicy again, she reacted with the exact emotional stability of someone who learned conflict resolution from Zeus Network. Her fans told her to stay calm. Her haters told her to grab popcorn. And Chrisean, she decided to run toward the smoke like she was starring in an action movie called Mission: Delusional, before anyone could blink. The situation went from petty to nuclear. The origin of this mess traces back to the one topic Karlissa will never let rest: Junior. His DNA and who's telling the truth? It's the longest-running drama since Fast and Furious. And just like that franchise, each new chapter gets more unbelievable. The moment Karlissa hinted she had new details, the internet prepared its seatbelts because they knew chaos was coming with no brakes. Chrisean tried playing it cool at first, acting like she wasn't bothered. But her eyebrows were already fighting for their lives. Nothing about this storyline has ever stayed calm. Things escalated. When Karlissa claimed she wasn't just talking, she was documenting, recording, collecting. She was basically assembling evidence like a dollar store Sherlock Holmes. She said she had timestamps, proof, and receipts. Which is hilarious because Karlissa's receipts usually start as a rant and end with her yelling at someone off camera. But still, fans believed her because Karlissa has a supernatural ability to sound convincing even when she's making no sense. And then she made the big announcement she was calling the police. Not thinking about it. Not threatening. Actually calling. That's when even trolls went silent. The internet knows one thing about Karlissa: when she gets authorities involved, she's not playing. She slammed that call button like she was speed dialing destiny. And suddenly the whole vibe shifted from messy entertainment to grab your snacks and pray. The dispatcher tried to stay professional, but they sighed the moment they heard her name. Meanwhile, Chrisean was pacing like a cartoon character whose feet move faster than logic, trying to figure out how to escape a situation she didn't even fully understand yet. That's the thing about Chrisean, she always starts running before she decides why. While police were reportedly preparing to pull up, Ronnie was sitting in the shadows like a character who enters halfway through the season to change the entire plot. He had been quiet, watching everything unfold like a patient supervillain. But the moment Karlissa mentioned evidence, Ronnie's Wi-Fi activated like a threat detection system. He came out with that sinister confidence of someone who spent the last 3 days screenshotting everything. Fans started panicking because Ronnie never speaks unless he's holding something dangerous emotionally, legally, or spiritually. And this time, he claimed it was final evidence. The first reactions from fans were unhinged. Twitter turned into a crime scene of memes, crying emojis, and theories so wild even Reddit said, "Relax, you're doing too much." People were betting money on who would crack first, Karlissa or Chrisean. Others were grabbing popcorn like this was the Super Bowl halftime show. Some genuinely tried to calm the situation, but their comments drowned instantly beneath thousands of people screaming, "Drop the evidence, Ronnie." It was clear that nobody wanted peace. Peace doesn't trend. Drama does. And this was premium grade chaos. Karlissa's followers hyped her up like she was Joan of Arc leading a holy war, telling her to expose her, end it, and don't hold back, queen. Meanwhile, Chrisean's fans were typing paragraph-long prayers asking God to put his strongest angels on her Wi-Fi connection before she made everything worse. Both sides were convinced they were right. Both sides were dramatic. Both sides needed water and therapy. This wasn't just a disagreement anymore, it was a fandom civil war forming in real time. What made everything even crazier was the fact that Karlissa started posting vague messages about how people don't know the truth and how she's tired of the lies. You know, that energy, old school anti-Facebook rage mixed with new age influencer cryptic shade. She was throwing subliminals sharper than kitchen knives. And Chrisean was catching every one of them like a wide receiver in the NFL. The more Karlissa talked about the truth, the more Chrisean's anxiety started bench pressing her sanity. This was no longer drama. It was emotional cardio for everyone involved. Right when fans thought the situation couldn't escalate further, Karlissa doubled down by saying she was ready to clear her son's name once and for all. She hinted that Chrisean had been playing games with the public and that people needed to wake up before they got manipulated. If Karlissa ever decides to become a cult leader, half the timeline would willingly join just for the entertainment value. But today, she was focusing all that energy directly at Chrisean. And trust me, Chrisean felt it. As the pressure mounted, Chrisean went live with that signature mix of confusion, anger, and adrenaline. She started ranting about lies, delusions, and people dragging her name, which only poured more gasoline on the dumpster fire. Her voice cracked. Her nerves cracked. Her whole aura cracked like a cheap glass vase. The more she talked, the more fans noticed she was getting worked up, not calm, not collected, definitely not innocent energy. She sounded like someone who knew a storm was coming and didn't have an umbrella. Social media reaction exploded instantly. People clipped her live stream, slowed it down, zoomed in, analyzed her breathing patterns like she was a suspect on CSI. Every eyebrow raise became a conspiracy theory. Every pause became a clue. Every sigh became proof. This is the problem with being famous during an internet meltdown. Nobody lets you just exist. They diagnose your emotions like they're licensed therapists. Meanwhile, Karlissa was watching like a judge on America's Got Problems. But the moment everything truly shifted, the real turning point was when Ronnie finally broke his silence. He didn't do a dramatic entrance. He didn't scream. He didn't rant. He simply said he had the last piece of the truth. And that was enough for the whole internet to stop breathing for a full second. He promised the kind of evidence that doesn't just confirm drama, it creates new drama. Evidence that can't be twisted. Evidence that finishes the conversation. His tone alone had people sweating like they were waiting for a court verdict. Ronnie didn't post the evidence yet, but fans could already tell something dark was coming. something messy. Something that would have Blueface glazing his forehead with stress sweat. And the more Ronnie hinted, the louder the comment section exploded. People were tagging everyone blogs, tea pages, cousins, grandmothers. Their pets nobody wanted to miss the incoming catastrophe. Because at this point, it wasn't just about the truth. It was about entertainment. And this drama was feeding the internet like a buffet. The chaos hit a fresh level of insanity the moment Ronnie's hints turned into full-blown prophecy. Social media was vibrating like it had been plugged into a faulty power socket. And the fan bases were spinning conspiracy theories faster than AI can generate lies. Every influencer suddenly became an investigative journalist. Every podcast host pretended they had inside sources. And every random cousin on Facebook claimed they knew the truth all along. The internet wasn't just watching the drama, people were studying it like they were preparing for an Examine Toxic Family Dynamics 101. And the worst part? Everyone thought they were right. Karlissa, loving every second of the spotlight, kept doubling down with the confidence of a woman who believes chaos is cardio. She started posting voice notes, screenshots, and half-baked quotes that were stitched together like a thrift store quilt, but fans didn't care. They ate it up like it was gospel. Every time she opened her mouth, the internet refreshed pages like they were waiting for concert tickets. She wasn't just trending. She was dominating the algorithm like she owned it. Meanwhile, the police call she made earlier was still echoing across the timeline like a ghost siren. Nobody could escape. On the other side of the digital battlefield, Chrisean supporters were trying so hard to defend her that they began arguing with each other. Some said she was innocent. Others claimed she was confused. A few openly admitted they had no idea what was happening but were loyal regardless because that's the vibe. The fandom was losing oxygen fast, arguing in circles while Twitter turned into a gladiator arena. But what truly set the atmosphere on fire was Chrisean's refusal to stay quiet. She kept jumping live after live, each one more chaotic than the last. Ranting like she was freestyling her emotional breakdown. Every celebrity watching from the sidelines decided it was time to chime in. Because nobody in Hollywood can resist a trending disaster. Lil Duval cracked jokes so fast that fans begged him to log off. Tamar Braxton tweeted something cryptic and dramatic, because that's her love language. Even Wendy Williams' Phantom fanbase rose from the dead just to ask, what's going on with these people? The entire entertainment world treated this meltdown like a long-awaited movie premiere. It's complete with popcorn emojis and messy commentary. The memes were so ruthless they could qualify as felony-level cyberbullying. Blueface, of course, couldn't resist. He dipped into the drama with that classic smirk, throwing shade that made people gasp louder than when Beyoncé dropped Lemonade. He didn't take a clear side because being vague is his brand, but he definitely poured oil on the fire. Fans knew he was enjoying the meltdown like a supervillain watching two heroes fight over something he caused. His comments were short, petty, and chaotic enough to inflame the entire situation. If drama were a sport, he'd be Hall of Fame material. And Karlissa. She was cheering him on like a proud coach. As more influencers reacted, Ronnie's silence grew louder. Every tweet from him had the intensity of a courtroom whisper. Every word was chosen like he was carving it into stone. He knew exactly how to manipulate the suspense one emoji, one sentence. One vague hint, entire timelines flipped upside down. People started reporting fictional updates, claiming he was about to go live, claiming he had dropped the evidence already, claiming the police were involved again. The internet became a carnival of misinformation. And Ronnie was the ringmaster without even lifting a finger. The memes were out of control. Someone edited Karlissa and Chrisean onto a Mortal Kombat poster. Another meme had the police car doing donuts around them, like it was auditioning for Fast and Furious 12. DNA drift. People uploaded voiceovers mocking their arguments, turning them into TikTok remixes with beats, so good producers started sampling them. The drama didn't just dominate feeds, it infected them. Even wholesome pages were forced to acknowledge the scandal because their followers wouldn't shut up about it. This wasn't trending. This was invading. As the frenzy swelled, Karlissa claimed she had more to say, which is the most dangerous phrase in the English language when she's involved. She promised clarity, justice, the truth, that mystical word she wields like a lightsaber. Fans begged for her to go live. Critics begged for her to log off. But she refused both options, choosing instead to post cryptic messages like some kind of zodiac auntie who owns too many crystals. Each post stirred the pot harder, making people believe she had something deadly to reveal. And honestly, she did. Chrisean responded with the emotional intensity of a tornado searching for a city to destroy. She began calling Karlissa names, accusing her of manipulation, claiming she was twisting everything. But every time she tried to calm down, something inside her snapped again. Her anxiety was battling her pride. Her pride was wrestling her temper. And her temper was drop-kicking her self-control. By this point, she wasn't just reacting, she was spiraling. And the internet was eating it up because nothing goes viral faster than a celebrity meltdown. Meanwhile, rumors flew that the police had actually reached out to both sides, which sent fans into a frenzy. People began claiming they had sources in the LAPD, which was hilarious because their sources were probably their cousins who failed the police exam twice. Still, the rumor felt real enough that news pages rushed to cover it. Headlines popped up everywhere, making this situation look more official than it probably was. And when Karlissa liked a post about the rumor, the internet treated it as confirmation. Suddenly, everyone believed the law was involved in the midst of all this madness. Ronnie finally resurfaced with a message that nearly broke the algorithm. He said, "I've seen enough. It's time." That was it, just 5 words. But those 5 words detonated faster than a leaked Drake diss track. Fans panicked. Chrisean supporters prayed. Karlissa's followers celebrated like their team had won the Super Bowl. Ronnie didn't even need to show the evidence. The idea that he might was enough to shake the entire digital ecosystem. Nobody cared about reality anymore. They wanted spectacle. Across social media, people began taking sides, like this was the early 2000s and we were choosing between Team Britney and Team Christina. Arguments broke out everywhere. Instagram comments, YouTube lives, Twitter threads, even TikTok comment sections under baking videos. You couldn't escape the drama. It was the digital equivalent of glitter. It stuck to everything. While the debate grew more intense, major gossip bloggers started piecing together timelines, theories, and alleged motives like amateur detectives desperate for relevance. Every new update felt like a plot twist in a show that had no writer's room, just chaos. At this point, nobody knew what the truth was, but everyone acted like they had the final say. That's the beauty of internet scandals. Facts don't matter if the drama is entertaining enough. Karlissa kept teasing revelations. Chrisean kept defending herself with fire and fury. Blueface kept making shady comments like a background character committed to stealing scenes. But all of them collectively feared one thing: Ronnie's final drop. Because when someone promises final evidence, it's never something soft. It's always something world-shaking. As the tension reached its peak, the internet felt like it was holding its breath, waiting for Ronnie to make the next move. The vibes were so heavy you could slice them with a butter knife from Dollar Tree and still somehow feel the pressure. Karlissa posted a picture of her staring out a window like she was auditioning for a dramatic soap opera. And fans swore it meant something. Meanwhile, Chrisean's silence suddenly became louder than her yelling ever could. Everyone was glued to their phones like this was the season finale of a show that got canceled. Mid-episode. Suspense didn't just build, it suffocated. Rumors spread that Ronnie was on the phone with someone important, and people immediately turned him into a superhero, villain, and judge all at once. Every TikTok creator went online with their microphones, explaining the situation like they were breaking news on CNN. Meme pages dropped. So many edits that you'd think they were getting paid per joke. And through all the madness, Ronnie sat in silence, building anticipation like he had studied Beyoncé's album release strategy. Each minute he didn't post felt like a jump scare waiting to happen. When Ronnie finally resurfaced, wasn't with a rant or a meltdown. No, he came with the calmest message any chaotic person has ever posted. Y'all ready? That was it. 2 words. But those 2 words hit harder than any diss track, any expose, any live meltdown. Fans were sprinting into comment sections like they were trying to win Olympic gold. Karlissa's supporters screamed that justice was coming. Chrisean's supporters yelled that Ronnie was clout chasing. It was a digital boxing match, and every platform turned into Madison Square Garden. Karlissa wasted no time. She responded instantly, saying she was more than ready and that the truth would finally come out. She typed with the energy of someone who believed destiny owed her something. Her tone wasn't just confident, it was victorious. You could tell she felt like she had the upper hand, like she had been waiting months for this moment to slap the internet awake. Meanwhile, critics roasted her for treating the situation like a movie premiere. But she didn't care. Karlissa thrives on chaos. It's her oxygen. Chrisean reacted with a mix of annoyance and exhaustion. She went live again and started pacing like she was trapped in an elevator with her own thoughts. Every word she said sounded like she was fighting invisible demons. She claimed everyone was lying, manipulating, and doing too much. Which, coming from her, was the most ironic thing anyone had heard all week. Still, her fans backed her fiercely, insisting this was all a twisted narrative crafted to make her look bad. But even they were nervous because Ronnie's energy felt too powerful to ignore. The tension hit another level when screenshots leaked claiming the police had spoken to multiple parties. Whether it was real or fake didn't matter. The internet treated it as the gospel truth. People speculated that Ronnie's evidence was connected to the police call Karlissa made earlier. And threads went wild with theories that looked like they were written by fan fiction authors who had too much caffeine. The whole situation spun into a dramatic mess of rumors, half-truths, and Netflix-level exaggerations. Nobody knew what was real, but nobody cared. Ronnie's countdown began. He posted 10 minutes. That was all it took to set off global chaos on every platform. People set alarms. People made live streams. People cleared their schedules like they were waiting for a solar eclipse. The comment sections began moving faster than stock charts during a market crash. Influencers started predicting what the evidence would be. Some said it was DNA related. Others said it was messages. Others said it was recordings. Nobody knew. Everyone pretended they knew. That's the internet's favorite hobby. With each minute ticking by, the situation felt more and more like a thriller movie. Karlissa was hyping herself up in comments like she was entering a wrestling match. Chrisean was visibly stressed, biting her lip, rubbing her face, looking everywhere except the camera. Her energy screamed. This might get ugly. Fans begged her to chill, to log off, to breathe, but Chrisean's brain doesn't operate on cooldown. It operates on chaos. And chaos was winning. Finally, the timer hit 0. Ronnie posted here, and the internet collectively exploded. No evidence yet, just the word here. But that was enough for the entire world to flip upside down. People thought their phones were glitching. The comments were moving too fast to read. Everyone was yelling, typing, refreshing, screaming into the void. It was the digital version of a riot. Bloggers typed articles in real time with their keyboards smoking from the workload. Chaos wasn't just present, it was hosting the event. Then Ronnie posted the evidence. Not in one piece, not in a simple screenshot. No, he dropped a series, a collection, a saga. Voice notes, texts, timestamps, conversations, claims. Counterclaims enough info to make the FBI say, "Wow, you've been busy." The internet nearly short-circuited. People scrolled with their jaws on the floor. The content wasn't simple. Shade. It was nuclear. It was damaging. It was raw. And it pointed fingers at everyone involved in ways nobody expected. The truth, or whatever version of it Ronnie had, was officially unleashed. Karlissa celebrated like she had just won the Super Bowl. She commented, shared, liked, reposted, and added her own dramatic monologues to the chaos. She acted like a queen whose throne had finally been validated. Her supporters cheered like this was the ending they always knew was coming. She claimed she had been telling the truth for months and that the world finally owed her an apology. Her energy was so intense, it radiated through the screen. Finally was in her final form villain arc, and she loved it. Chrisean, on the other hand, broke. You could see the stress melting into frustration, anger, and disbelief. She didn't deny everything, but she questioned the context, calling Ronnie manipulative, calling Karlissa evil, calling the situation twisted. Her live stream was a mixture of tears, yelling, and emotional unraveling. Fans begged her to stop talking before she dug deeper into disaster, but she refused. She went down swinging because staying silent felt like surrender. And Chrisean never surrenders. She combusts. The aftermath was brutal. Pages dissected the evidence like scientists. Blogs turned every screenshot into a headline. Fans created timelines longer than school textbooks. Some argued Ronnie was lying. Some argued he was exposing the truth. Some didn't care who was right, they just enjoyed the spectacle. And somewhere, in the middle of it all, Blueface predictably dropped a few petty emojis and one sarcastic lol that sent everyone spiraling even further. His ability to inflame chaos with the bare minimum is Olympic-level talent by the end of the day. The internet wasn't sure who won, but everyone agreed on one thing. This scandal changed everything. Karlissa strengthened her reputation as the internet's most unpredictable hurricane. Chrisean became the tragic hero in a saga that refuses to end. Ronnie became the villain, hero, and narrator all at once. And the fans. They were left hungry for whatever catastrophe comes next. And if you survive this roller coaster without throwing your phone, congratulations, you officially have stronger emotional endurance than half of Hollywood. Because what we just witnessed wasn't a scandal. It wasn't drama. It wasn't even chaos. This was a full-blown disaster movie wrapped inside a reality show, sprinkled with a dash of family delusion, and served hot with extra police sirens on the side. And trust me, this storyline is far from over. Karlissa, Chrisean, Ronnie, and Blueface are all in the same universe. Then the next explosion is already loading in the background, like a glitching video game. So before the next meltdown drops, because it will drop, make sure you smash that like button like it owes you money. Hit subscribe the way Karlissa hits go live whenever she feels spiritually attacked. And turn on notifications because around here, scandals don't take weekends off. They show up uninvited at 3 a.m., wearing chaos-like cologne, knocking on your digital door with a fresh batch of mess. You don't want to be the last one to find out when the internet catches fire again. Drop a comment below telling me whose side you think is sinking faster, Karlissa's stormy declarations, Chrisean's emotional tornado, or Ronnie's final evidence arc that had everyone hyperventilating. Go ahead, pick your fighter. The comment section is where the real Royal Rumble happens. And if you've got theories, predictions, or prophecy-level guesses for what happens next, spill them like you're auditioning for a gossip award. Because here at Expose Express, we don't just report the drama, we drag it into the spotlight, interrogate it, and then chase it across the internet until it collapses from exhaustion. So buckle up, stay messy, stay curious, and stay ready, because the next scandal is already warming up in the group chat.